a call, Steve.
He's a northern-bred, southern-fed, slick-talking guy. Listeners in his posse are the junkyard dogs. The SEC from Tennessee to calling them hogs. From Gainesville up to Lexington to the Titan Tiger Land. Nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond?
And good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to a Baumhauer's Tuesday here in the Doghouse, back at our usual every other Tuesday site today. We'll be doing this through the end of April, through the madness here at Baumhauer's on the South Parkway. And look, the Conference USA games do not start until tonight at the VBC. Originally, we were going to be down there. The morning show was down there. The morning blitz was down there, and that was fantastic. But there are no games until tonight. So we thought, you know what? Instead of coming to Baumhauer's tomorrow, while the number one women's seed, MTSU, is playing, why don't we knock out our Baumhauer's show today, which we always do on a Tuesday, and then turn around and go to the VBC tomorrow and be down there. So we're going to be broadcasting tomorrow right during the women's number one seed MTSU game on the court against the winner of tonight's UTEP-Sam Houston matchup. So if you were coming down to the VBC to see me, well, first of all, it would have been difficult to do because our broadcast location there is actually between the boards, the hockey boards, and the court, and basically down on the ice. Okay, there's plywood, but basically down on the ice. Okay, so but apparently by the end of the show, your feet are freezing because your feet are on the, on the plywood that is sitting right on the ice. I wonder how that affects the court, really, to be honest with you. I wonder how cold that might make it feel, when you're on the court with the court sitting on the plywood that they put down before the ice. I thought they would de-ice, and put the plywood down and do it that way, but that apparently that's not how they do it. So in any event, if you were thinking of coming down, come to Baumhauer's today and hang out down here with us today. I know a couple of people had contacted me, and they wanted to know where I was going to be and when I was going to be and when I would be here at the Baumhauer's, and this is when I'm here at the Baumhauer's. I am here today, so we'll be here until 2 o'clock. The men get going tonight down there at the VBC as well at 8 o'clock or thereabouts. Number 8, Jacksonville State, playing number 9 seed FIU. It's interesting. I actually did some FIU games back in the day. When I was doing FGCU, Dunk City, as you got to know it after they beat Duke as a 16-1 deal, when we were doing their games, David Moulton and I, when they first started, one of the games we did was at FIU. And now FIU playing in the Conference USA and in the tournament here in Huntsville, so I think that's kind of cool. Now today, as I say, we're hanging out here at one of my favorite places in the planet. And with NFL free agent frenzy going into day 2, several big names are still out there. And we're going to get into it with our friend David Moulton, whose show Miller and Moulton in the Morning will soon be heard on our sister station, Talk Radio WZZN. All right? I hope you found that bad boy. You need to get to, it's at 97.7-2 is where you'll find Talk Radio WZZN, our sister station, with Fox Sports Talk during the day and Fox News at night. And the last show that we'll have before we switch over to news each day will be Miller and Moulton from 5 to 7. And then at 7 a.m., we kick off with America in the Morning, our news show, and it goes all throughout the day with news shows all the way through Bill O'Reilly. And then, of course, we've announced that the Rocket City Trash Pandas have come to Talk Radio WZZN, and they will anchor our nights all season long. So we'll be looking forward to that as well. Now, also on the show today, you heard the ads for the Sports Betting Alliance the last couple of weeks, the last 3 weeks or so. That vote took place in the state Senate as to whether or not we can even be allowed in Alabama to vote on whether or not, you want sports betting. Not the issue of whether or not you want sports betting, just the issue of can we vote on whether or not, just to put it on the ballot. Just get it on the ballot for November. Anyway, a vote took place, I guess, in the Senate, but not in the House, and there are two different bills. Remember, all the SBA wants you to do is be able to choose if you want the issue on the ballot. Okay? That's all. North Carolina just became the 30th state in the union to allow it. and the governor there placed a bet on the Carolina Hurricanes to win the Stanley Cup. Now, he's going to lose the bet, but at least he had a choice. He had the option to go ahead and place the bet, and that's what he did. Now, Jeremy Kudon of the Sports Betting Alliance is coming up at the top of the one to explain to us what is going on with this issue specifically in the state of Alabama, all right, and how we get this done in the state of Alabama. So you don't have to drive over to Mississippi or drive up north across the border into Tennessee to place a legal sports bet. And there's a reason for it. You say, well, Doug, right now I'm using this offshore site in Costa Rica. Those are not secure, my friend. And let me tell you something. I've had experience with them for years and years and years. There are issues sometimes, and you really want to be giving your credit card information to some, guy in Costa Rica that you don't know, you can't reach out and touch, or it's unregulated. It's not the way to go. Plus, the state loses tons of income that the state can make on it. That is good for the state. You lose all of that. So Jeremy Kudon coming up from the Sports Betting Alliance at the top of the one to talk to us about that. Also, today on the show, Nick Saban got loose with Ted Cruz. I think this morning it was Nick Saban talking to Ted Cruz and talking about the state of college football. He's becoming like the grand poobah of college football now, and he had some interesting comments to make on that, and we'll give you that a little bit later in the show as well, and we can comment on that. Right now, your phone lines are open at 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. I got to be careful. I don't have my normal camera, and I just realized that I think I put my notes up over the camera. So, Grizz is probably going nuts, back in the studio. Hey, stop covering up the camera, for God's sakes. So I need to do that. I need to stop doing that. Anyway, so I'll look over here to the side. You can get in on the show. You can text the show, 732-9TA-SHOW, 732-982-7469. That is a great way to communicate with us. My X feed is at Thom Abraham Show. The station's feed is at 97.7 ESPN. We are also on the Facebook at 97.7 ESPN. You can get a link to the YouTube channel at WZZN TV. I know it looks different today. It's going to look a little weird today. I'm looking at it right. Well, it's not too bad. I'm looking at this. So when I go like this, I see now covering up my face looks great here. I'm going to put a handsome person on the back of this thing here, and on my back of my paper, and then I'll hold it up, and then it'll look like I'm some handsome dude, and then maybe that'll work. I'm not sure. But at any rate, you can jump in there, like and subscribe on the YouTube, and you get some notifications. Go to 977ESPN.com. Get links to all of that stuff. While you're at it, get our app. Just search 97.7 ESPN, The Zone, from your app store. There you can find links to Zone 2, 3, 4, and 5 as well, all our alternate streaming channels for more great programming, and you can get into all of that stuff. Now, don't forget to snag the Talk Radio WZZN app as well for more great options. All right, and if you look at our 977ESPN.com calendar, or at 977ESPN.com, you'll go to the calendar there. You'll find out where we are at and all of the information about whatever it is that we're doing. So check that out. The NCAA and others connected to college sports have been lamenting what the impact of NIL, transfer portal, basically paying the kids, and what it would have on the sport. And again, Nick Saban talked about this. We'll get to that a little bit later. He gave his opinion. But a lot of people think that this will ultimately kill fan interest in college sports. The problem is, as we have noted several times, the TV ratings last season were at an all-time high. And now the attendance figures are in, and they are up as well. FBS, Football Bowl Subdivision, 1A football, whatever it is you want to call it. Average attendance in the stadium was the highest since 2017. And it was the first time in 15 years that attendance rose in back-to-back years. Now, 2008 was the all-time high at just under 47,000 a game, average attendance. This year was 42,000 a game. It has fallen from 47,000 15 years ago to 42,000 this past year. But I'm going to suggest this. We have added about 15 schools or so, 14 schools to the FBS rankings. In 2008, there were 119 schools playing FBS football. This past year, there were 133. So what is that? 14 that we have added. Okay? Those schools that were added are all small schools coming up from FCS. And many of those schools had average attendance less than 15. He said 15,000 a game. Now, that requirement was eliminated last year. There used to be a requirement that you had to average 15,000 a game for 2 years, rolling average, to be considered for FBS. You don't even have to do that anymore. The fee used to be $5,000. It costs $5,000 to move up from FCS to FBS, to move up from 1AA to 1A. Well, now they raised that fee to $5 million. So that's a little bit of a deterrent, maybe. But they eliminated the requirement to be able to average 15,000 a game. They don't even care about attendance. And I'm telling you, there are schools that are playing what we call FBS football, 1A football, that average less than 10,000 a game. It's we really need to split up FBS more. We need to do something. There needs to be another division created. We need to separate. The SEC and the Big Ten led the way in attendance as usual, and they're completely playing a different game than these others. G5 schools, all the G5 schools, all the Group of 5 schools, all the 1AA, or not the 1AA, the 1A schools that are in the Group of 5. I'm talking about the MAC and the AAC and the Mountain West, all of these Group of 5, Sunbelt, all of them, Conference USA, all of them combined averaged about 20,000 a game. 20,000 a game for their games. The ACC and the Pac-12 last year averaged 48,000 a game. The Big 12 averaged 55,000 a game because of Texas and Oklahoma. But those two big stadiums in Austin and Norman are now in the SEC. The SEC, of course, led the way with 77,000 a game. That's more than the NFL. The Big Ten averaged 66,000 a game. It's just a different world. More TV money, more attendance. How does anyone compete with that? $77,000 a year, or 77,000 people a game at an SEC game. 77,000 at an SEC game. And they're playing teams that average 8,000 a game and 10,000 a game. You'll recognize some of the names when I run it down for you. It's ridiculous. They need to get them separated. Someday we'll look back and we'll say, well, how was it on what planet did we consider Mercer and Western Carolina and even MTSU or, Western Michigan? How is it that we ever considered these people to be the same people? And you got Michigan playing Western Michigan or Eastern Michigan? I mean, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. All right, in that little glass room with the slanted ceiling, playing the Platters That Matter and the Stacks of Wax and manning phones and keeping us on the air and making sure that they don't cover up my camera like that. It's the one and the only DJ Grizzy Grizz. That's what I said.
Who in the blue hell are you? What is your name? It doesn't matter what your name is.
I'm the producer of this show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I put this thing together out of spit and polish.
I mean, this is ridiculous. It's a radio show. It ain't a 1-hour television spectacular.
I think this is one of the traits of a really good producer. Keep the talent happy.
I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew. Now, Tom. Hey, Tom.
He may be the smartest person that I've ever met.
Testosterone high today.
What's that?
Testosterone, whatever the it is. Testosterone.
I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence.
It really doesn't matter what you think. All right? It really doesn't matter what you say.
Grizz, how you doing today?
I'm doing fine. Yeah, enjoying getting ready for the weekend or getting ready for this week of CUSA basketball in the Rocket City, and had a really good time last night. Thank you to the Huntsville Sports Commission and CUSA
did you go to the
tournament.
Mixer?
Yeah, group.
Did you go to the Mixer?
Went to the Mixer. It was really nice. Got another Stanley Cup. Gotta make sure that I drink more water. So I appreciate that as
another
as well.
Stanley Cup.
I got another cup to drink.
It's not
water,
a Yeti. It's a Stanley.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what kind it is. It could be either or. I'm not really sure.
What is the BAL? Do you know what basketball league is? The BAL. They got NBA TV on here, and on the NBA TV game, they got a game between Cape Town. I mean, it's got to be like Africa or something. It's Cape Town.
Oh, is that the African League that they have over there?
Fur de Rabbit or something like that. Fur de Rabbit against Cape Town Tigers.
I believe that's the African League.
BAL is what it says on it. It's BAL. You know what I did last night? So my daughter Kelly and her kids are visiting for a couple of days from she lives in Madison. And we're watching a couple of other grandkids as well, of my daughter Christy and son-in-law Alfonso's. We're watching their grandkids. So we've got those two there. So Kelly decided to come with her 3. So now we've got Kelly there and 5 of our grandkids and 2 dogs. So I have to hide. You know what I mean? I don't want any part of that. They're all grand. It's 4 granddaughters and 1 grandson.
Yeah.
So I have to kind of go hide, and I'm not doing my normal routine is my wife and I, we eat dinner, and by 7:30 we're in bed. We watch TV until 10:30, and then she falls asleep, and I watch sports or whatever. So. So now none of our shows are recording. I don't know why, because I had 3 in a row, I guess. So all of the new shows that came out, all the cop shows and the Law and Orders, everything, nothing is on now. So they're not even on the DVR, and I wouldn't watch them without her anyway. So I had to find something to watch. So I'm looking around, and what am I going to watch? And now I'm on the YouTube and everything else, and I found a Savannah Bananas game, which was in Houston, at Minute Maid Park in Houston, and they were playing the Party Animals, and it was the Savannah Banana. I thought it was banana ball. They were playing banana ball, is what they call it, not baseball, banana ball. It's baseball with a clock, a 2-hour clock and everything else. I thought the Savannah Bananas were an actual team in like A-League or something like that.
Yeah.
So
I think a lot of people have thought that before.
Is it the only
it's
thing
Harlem
I can think?
Globetrotters.
It's the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball.
Sorry
Thank
to
you.
take it from you. Yeah,
that's exactly what it is.
The Harlem Globetrotters of baseball, and it is very amusing. It sold out that night.
Yeah,
I mean, how cool is that? I mean,
it did. They were selling out everywhere.
They had Kurt Schilling and Roy Oswalt come out and pitch a couple of innings.
Rocket Clemens. Clemens pitched in that
not
game.
Kurt Schillings. It was
Clemens.
Roger
Clemens pitched an inning and got the guys out. And
Johnny Damon came out and hit a ball.
They're not really good baseball players. The baseball itself did not look.
No.
I mean, the baseball I was watching the other day on Saturday at UAH was better baseball in terms of defense.
It's more like eye candy because like the guys are all athletic and they take their shirts off and they do like silly dances and stuff. And I think it's more like.
Yeah.
It's more like entertainment.
It's crazy.
It's entertainment for sure.
It's crazy. It's the Savannah Bananas, and it was just weird.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The whole thing was just very, very
love to see them come
weird.
to Toyota. I believe they came to Birmingham last year.
I don't think they could play in Toyota. I think they'd have to have a bigger place. I don't think they could play in Toyota
Field.
Build
some stands in the back or something. You know what I mean? I still want like a left field lounge. I know that there's like a lounge area like on the left field line, but I need a left field lounge by the pole. Build me like a second floor lounge area where people can hang out because that's one of the coolest places to hang out.
Guess who just slipped in?
Who's that?
Here at Baumhauer's.
John?
Brandon. Yeah, he just
I told him
jetted.
You were going to be in that area.
Well, when the show started, he was home in Rome, and then he just jetted over here.
That's
How you
fast.
doing, man?
Steve Moulton came pick me up.
Steve Moulton came, gotcha.
Tokyo Drift.
So he handed me a cup here that says, "Thanks, Coach." 201 and 29, which was Saban's record. 6 national championships, 9 SEC championships, 4 Heisman Trophy winners. That's just, of course, at Alabama, and it's got a goat on it on the front of it, and it's home of the Yellow Hammer. And what is it? Galetti's?
Galette's.
Galette's?
It's a big bar in Tuscaloosa.
If it was Italian, it'd be Galetti's. Galette's Tuscaloosa, established 1976 on the Strip, a game day tradition. It's a very cheap plastic cup, but it's honoring Coach Saban. So I thought that was very cool. And now,
cool.
Is this? I get to keep this one?
That's yours.
Very cool.
I got a friend to get an armful of them at the last Alabama game.
All right, so I'm showing it to you guys that are watching on
What's up?
On WZZ. Isn't that cool? So there goes. So if you're watching on WZZN TV, you can see that's the cup.
Is that the new glass Coke bottle now? Like, is that the commemorative?
Oh gosh,
cup that,
you know what? They need to do a Coke bottle. They need to do a Coke bottle for Saban. I mean, they got to do an honorary Coke bottle, glass Coke bottle.
Got a couple of bare ones hanging up.
No, this is nice, but I mean, this is a cheap cup. I mean, they need to do a Coke bottle, Brandon. How many Bear Bryant Coke bottles do you have with the 315 on them, with Bear Bryant on there and all that stuff?
2.
Yeah, I have two as well. I have 2 as well. How many do you have, Grizz?
I think I've got like 2 or 3.
Yeah, I have 2.
At least 2. I think 2's the minimum to have. I'm pretty
Everybody
sure
has
2.
Now, are yours empty or open?
They're
full?
Yeah.
Yeah, mine are full as well. Have you ever fantasized about from 1983? Have you ever fantasized about cracking one of those open and just to see what the Coke tastes like in there?
We actually probably opened one around 89 or 90 when I was.
I was only 6 years.
I was about 8 years old. We opened one that was really old.
Yeah.
It was a West Rome High School bottle. It
wasn't one of the Saban or one of the Bear Bryant bottles?
They had won the championship. They'd went 59-1 in 4 years. We call it 59 and Randy. They always give Randy a hard time. He suspended a bunch of players, and they lost a game. But they had one that was a West Rome bottle that was about 8 years old, and we opened it and didn't know how old it was and took a drink out of it. It was terrible. Like it was like battery acid.
So, Grizz, you don't want to open yours?
No. It's going to be completely flat. You lose value. I've watched too many
completely
shows
flat.
like that.
It'd be beyond completely flat. Are you kidding me? Doesn't this dude over here look like Mike Singletary?
He does.
It looks like a mini Mike Singletary, doesn't he? There's a dude sitting next to us at the table. He's on the phone right now. I don't want to bother him. He's got a Chicago Bears hat on, and I swear to God, his face, facially, when he came in and walked by me, he looked at me with them eyes, them Singletary eyes. I thought it was Mike freaking Singletary.
Like,
little mini Mike.
Well, as long as he don't stand up, turn around, and drop his pants and start screaming, I guess we're good.
No, that would be a good. Yeah, we don't want to see that. We don't want that to happen. All right, so you're just bumping around town. I mean, I put your headset on you right when I'm going to break, but you got anything good that you want to tell us?
Well, I was just going to ask you about it shows here that the Braves versus Arizona, April 5th, Friday, Braves home opener at 7:20.
I know you've been asking me about that Braves home opener.
The Friday, because the one you said was on
a Friday. The Wednesday is the Alabama day in May, but I don't know that we can get it. I don't know that we can get it done that quickly, and 2, that's going to be sold out. They're not going to give us – I want to get a group discount tickets. I'm going to do a day over there. It's not going to just be us. We need to do a day there. And I need to get, like, group tickets or something. There are no tickets for opening day, are there?
I don't know how many we could get for that day. Now, they're going to have fireworks on Friday night, April 19th versus Texas at 7:20.
I wonder how their fireworks show is compared to the Trash Panda fireworks show. The Trash Panda's don't the Trash Pandas have fireworks every Friday night, Chris?
Yeah, Friday and Saturday.
Every Friday and Saturday?
I believe it's Saturday as well. Yeah.
Wow.
Because Sunday is usually like an afternoon game, or sometimes you might get a night game.
I want to put together a day. We're going to get a bus. We're going to bring
So you want a businessman special?
We're going to bring 50 people over. Ooh, a day game. I got to think this through. All right. Well, I'm glad that Brandon is here. We're going to get a break in here. And when we come back, David Moulton is going to join us. We're talking NFL free agency and some college football stuff with him next. It's the Tom Abraham Show live at Baumhauer's on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
I'm here today with Dr. Tracy Lowry of Varicosity Vein Center. Now, how does someone suspect they have vein issues?
The most common symptoms associated with vein issues include leg heaviness, aching, and swelling, with some patients having visible veins as well. Vein issues can be easily diagnosed using ultrasound, with treatments performed as an outpatient using the latest minimally invasive techniques. Diagnosis and treatment is covered by most insurances. Both men and women have vein issues, though men may be more likely to ignore their symptoms when they're playing golf or walking the stadium steps. They too will benefit from correction of their vein problem. Patients can contact our clinics in Huntsville and new clinics in Madison and Coleman at 256-715-7151 or visit us at veracosityveincenter.com.
Veracity Vein Center, Alabama's premier vein center.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
AL cert number 21014.
Are those high utility bills driving you crazy this time of year? If they are, Talent Heating and Air has the special for you.
That's right. We're going to run a $49 spring checkup on your system. We're going to come out, we're going to check those heat kits, make sure that everything was working through the winter right, and then we're going to also make sure your Freon's good, make sure that you're ready for the summertime.
How important is that to be done this time of year?
It's really the most important time of the year. We can avoid safety concerns caused by wintertime use, and then we can also make sure that you're ready for the summertime.
And to get ready for the summertime, you just got to call
256-503-4490.
Or you can find them online at
talenthvac.com.
That's Talent Heating and Air. One more time,
256-503-4490.
Talent Heating and Air. Let them save you money.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
In Tuscaloosa, we live by the blue-collar basketball motto.
Stepping back, deep three, bottom.
Hard work.
2-on-1, driving, stepping through, tough shot, got it to go.
Teamwork.
Play the song for the champions of the Southeastern Conference.
Join us for every game right here on your home for Alabama basketball.
Listen to Alabama basketball all season long on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 60s, making a solid run at 70 degrees, but it appears we're going to fall just shy. We drop into the mid 40s as we head into the overnight. A partly sunny sky for your Wednesday. Temperatures are going to consistently climb into the lower 70s. Really going to be a fantastic day. We're only going to drop into the low 50s through the overnight. A partly sunny sky for your Thursday. Maybe an isolated shower across the Tennessee Valley. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Talent Heating and Air plus 97.7 ESPN The Zone Bracket Challenge is coming.
You're going to have to explain that.
Head to 97.7ESPN.com and sign up your team today.
I followed your instructions implicitly.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Steve Moulton from The Drive. Be sure and join us today from 5 to 7 with Wes Neighbors and me. Now back to the Tom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
So The Drive will be down at the Furniture Factory tonight. So if you want to see those dudes, you can go on down there to the Furniture Factory and check that out. We are here at Baumhauer's, and I apologize. Those of you who are watching on WZZN TV, it's a little bit different look to. We don't have our normal camera set up because we kind of made a quick move, a quick change. We were going to be at the VBC where the Conference USA tournament gets underway tonight, but I'd made an executive decision. I'll be honest with you. I'm like, why am I going to sit in an empty arena on a piece of plywood on ice? And now I'm looking at – no, wait a minute. I'm looking at a new note. We got all kinds of breaking news happening right now. So I'm in a look. There goes a squirrel mode. But anyway, we don't have a normal camera set up and so on here at Baumhauer. So I'm on a different camera, so it looks a little bit different. And so we're letting you know that. I'm getting T-shirts handed to me here. I got Brandon here from Rome, Georgia. Let me do the Sports Talk radio show for a second. Thank you, Frank. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. All right. We got all kinds of stuff going on. We have breaking news. Derrick Henry signs a 2-year, $16 million deal with the Ravens, and Jameis Winston is a Cleveland Brown. Jameis Winston to back up Deshaun Watson in Cleveland. So Jameis Winston gets to his third team. He is now a Cleveland Brown. We remind you that you want to get into the March Madness Bracket Challenge here at Baumhauer's, and they're inviting everybody to get into their second annual bracket challenge. You sign up at baumhauers.com, or you scan the QR code at your favorite Baumhauer's location, which is right here on the South Parkway where I sit. Register now and fill out your brackets by March 21st for a chance to win a $100 Baumhauer's gift card each round and a $500 Visa gift card grand prize. You also heard that little stinger when we were getting rejoined to get into our 97.7 ESPN The Zone bracket challenge, where first place will be a 1-year family membership to the beautiful Cherokee Ridge Country Club. And that's an outstanding, that's like a $5,000 value. So we've got that for you, first place winner. And second place will be a lunch bunch here at Baumhauer's for 6 people, which is about a $200 value here at Baumhauer's. So did I get all the news in? I think I got everything in.
I think you got everything in.
All right. David Moulton's falling asleep. He's like, when's he going to talk to me? I'm just trying to take care of business here, David. David Moulton joins us now. Miller and Moulton in the morning. They will be. It's coming. I promise you it's coming to Talk Radio WZZN.
Eventually.
Sister station. It's coming. Eventually it'll be there. Of course, David also working with the fine folks at CBS on college football and Monday Night Football as well. And he joins us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline and on WZZN TV. David, welcome in. How are you?
I'm good, Tom.
Baumhauer's. Remember back in the day when you used to do remotes at restaurants and stuff?
It was
glorious.
First off, I did probably a dozen shows at Baumhauer's in Tuscaloosa, in which it was awesome to be able to do a show and to eat at the same time. It was just the best.
The first remote that I saw, radio remote that I saw you doing, was at an anniversary show. It might have been your second or third anniversary show, something like that, and it was at a restaurant in the Germain Arena in Southwest Florida. You and Rich Hermanson, and Rich had a cake with a basketball. It looked like a basketball. Remember that? And it was the first time I came out and saw you guys. I had been there a month maybe, and you guys were having this remote to celebrate your however many anniversary it was on the air. And, that was my introduction to it. And you had radio equipment that set up that was the size of this table that I'm sitting at. You had this big, huge box of radio equipment. I have something that we're connected with that's the size of my fist at this point in time. I mean, it's ridiculous the way the technology has changed during our career.
And not only that, now it's on video and apps. And, yeah, it's amazing what will happen over the next 10 to 15 years as well. But it's great to be on your show. And it's funny, we were talking about an hour and a half ago, and I said to you, Derrick Henry and the Ravens look like the marriage. I just didn't know if it would happen today or but 2 years, it's about $8 million a year with the potential to be about $10 million a year. And he replaces Gus Edwards and then some. And here we go.
Yeah, here we go. And the third of the 3 backs, I thought that of the 3 big backs that were available yesterday when this all started going down, I like Josh Jacobs the most because of the combination of age, lack of injury compared to Saquon Barkley. Jacobs goes to Green Bay, and they release Adams, and so they add Jacobs. So they get younger, they get more versatile. He's so good out of the backfield. So we start with that one right there. Josh Jacobs, with all due respect to the Lions, the way Jordan Love finished the season, the way the Packers finished the season, dare I say, maybe the Lions are 1A, but the Packers might be 1B as far as competing for that division. I like them to win that division. What's your thoughts about the Josh Jacobs to the Packers deal?
Well, first off, I love the contract. It's basically a series of one-year contracts. Only the first year is guaranteed. So Green Bay, it's 1 year, $12 million. Then it's another year, $12 million. And they do that for 4 years. So it's staggered beautifully from Green Bay's point of view. I'm not as high on Jordan Love as you are. I saw Jordan Love play 3 times last year. He was bad all 3 times.
Early or later in the season,
Well, but hold on. Let's go back to the last game they played. They're beating the Niners. They're outplaying the Niners. They're a score up on the Niners. He has a simple 3rd and 6 check down over the middle. He throws it 2 yards behind the receiver. It's deflected. It's intercepted. Then watch his fourth quarter. Jordan Love fell apart like a house of cards in the final 20 minutes of that game. He was terrible, actually. He was wonderful in in Dallas and the first 40 minutes against the Niners. But the minute they actually put the game in his hands, he lost it for Green Bay. So I'm not as sold on Jordan Love as everybody else. I think he's still inconsistent. When he's good, he's tremendous. When he's bad, Tommy DeVito is better than him. So he needs to find, quite frankly, even a Jared Goff level of consistency, which he doesn't have yet. But
he can. He's awfully young. He's a lot younger than Jared Goff.
I understand. But if you're talking about winning the division and playing for the NFC Championship game and what have you, you can't make excuses. Either you deliver or you didn't get it done.
Saquon,
and he blew a playoff game for them last year. He did.
Saquon Barkley to the Philadelphia Eagles. A lot of vitriol coming out of your New York Giants area, and that's okay. Saquon seems to be a little thin-skinned, I believe. Tiki Barber saying on his show, "You're dead to us. You're dead to us." He was smiling. He had a little bit of a chuckle in his voice. I don't think that Saquon Barkley actually saw it. I think he heard about it or heard it, but it was, I think that's what New Yorkers want to hear. That's what a Giant fan wants to hear on a New York radio station. You're dead to us. I think that's what they want. He gets all upset about it, and they kind of trade some barbs back and forth. Philadelphia gets a Saquon Barkley going into his 7th season that is had injury issues his entire career. He gets to play on grass. Maybe that's a thing. But what does this do for the Eagles, Saquon Barkley, and, to the Eagles?
Well, once again, if he can stay healthy, it's tremendous. Think about how bad the offensive lines have been that he's played behind, and now think about what he's going to play behind in Philadelphia. If he stays healthy, Tom, he may have as many yards from scrimmage as McCaffrey with the Niners. Think about the line he's now going to play behind versus what he's run behind his first 6 years of his career. Yeah. But he's got to stay healthy. He averages missing, like last year, he missed 3.5 games. If you're an Eagles fan, that's kind of what you have to count on, about 13 or so games. Also, remember, new offense for Philly, a Kellen Moore offense. I think he'll be featured as a receiver a lot more. Well, put it this way, going all the way back to his rookie year, Tom, when he caught like 80 balls. I think you're going to see him catch 60, 70 passes from Hurts.
So we mentioned Derrick Henry going to the Ravens. Obviously, for Lamar Jackson, that certainly is a boon there. But I will say this, and I love Derrick Henry. We used to complain that he never got enough touches his first 2 years in the league with the Titans. Every time he touched the ball, he did something good, and they never give him the ball. And they had DeMarco Murray there, and DeMarco Murray would get 22 carries, and Derrick Henry would get 6. Now, though, since he became the starter some 5 or 6 years ago, he led the league in carries just about every year. He's an unbelievable workhorse. He does turn 30. It's not a real good record for running backs who are 30 years old, regardless of who they go to. Good offensive line there, dynamic quarterback, obviously gets to play with the MVP. But does this automatically make the Ravens the favorites in the AFC, if you will?
No, I think Derrick Henry is just a more expensive replacement of Gus Edwards, who went to the Chargers. But Gus Edwards last year had 200 carries, over 800 yards, and 13 touchdowns.
Yeah.
What if? And also, here's what I'm wondering, Tom, and you're old enough to remember. Do you think Derrick Henry's got 2 years in him where he's Otis Anderson with the Giants? Remember, Otis was like 32,
was
33.
He that old when he went to the Giants? Yeah.
Yeah, because remember, Otis was a rookie in 79. So when he was backing up Rodney Hampton in 89 and 90, that was his 11th and 12th years in the league. So, but I actually think, Baltimore's not going to overuse Derrick Henry. And he's going to score close to a touchdown a game in fantasy because when they get inside the 10, they're just going to give it to him.
Yeah. All right. So there's that. Now, who missing out then on these big 3 running backs, I thought for sure the Cowboys would be in. Tony Pollard who is a very useful running back, goes to the Titans, and he gets to play with Will Levis and that crew, and we'll see what happens there. Right now, the Cowboys striking out on running back. Now, Joe Mixon is out there. I like Joe Mixon.
No, he's not.
Oh, he's not.
Joe
Okay.
Mixon, because the word was last night Joe Mixon was cut, but actually what happened was Joe Mixon today got traded to the Texans.
Oh, I didn't see that. Okay, I missed that. All right, so we've been here.
Aaron Jones this morning signed a 1-year, $7 million deal with the Vikings. I thought after the performance that Aaron Jones displayed against the Cowboys in the playoff game, that Dallas was going to pivot to Aaron Jones quickly, but instead Minnesota did. So they missed out on both Jones and Mixon, did the Cowboys.
And they lose, and the other three, and they lose Tony Pollard.
Right.
This is not a good look for Cowboys at all. And Jerry Jones and his son, whichever one is making the decisions there now.
Well, I will say, and there's Cowboys fans everywhere, if I'm a Cowboys fan, I'm more concerned with the offensive line than I am the running backs right now. I figure I can, if the line is doing its job, we can insert a couple guys. Besides, Dak's going to throw it 35 times a game anyway. You know, do I wish he'd throw it less? Yes. But ultimately, they're a passing team. Mike McCarthy's a passing guy. He's got a lot of Andy Reid in him. So they need to get their offensive line straight. And that, to me, is more of a priority than the running back. You know, you can draft running backs in the mid-rounds, but they need linemen.
So David Moulton with us here on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. So yesterday we had Bo Morgan on. He's a sideline reporter for the Falcons Radio Network. We are a Falcons radio affiliate. And as we had Bo Morgan on, the Kirk Cousins news came down the pike. There was a lot of speculation about this over the last week or two. His wife is from Atlanta. They were looking for homes in Atlanta, that this was going to happen at Kirk Cousins, who many had and think is the number one free agent in all of NFL this year. He gets this 4-year, $180 million deal with the Falcons, $100 million guaranteed, 12 years into season, great fantasy numbers, one playoff win. What are we looking at? Kirk Cousins to the Falcons. Are they the favorite in the NFC South, or are they just go from 8-9 to 9-8?
Well, I think, and I'm not making excuses for Kirk Cousins, but I saw the playoff win. We did that game on Fox, and he outplayed Drew Brees in New Orleans and made the throw of his life in overtime to set up the game-winning score. So, you know, I've seen Kirk Cousins perform under pressure. Also, he's a dome guy, right? Well, guess what? He gets to continue playing in a dome. Is he lacking for weapons? Hell no. He's got 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, and a tight end. Now they lost an offensive,
and they still have the 8th pick, you know. So
right, and
with 3 good receivers.
Now, they lost an offensive lineman yesterday. Got to make sure the line's fortified. But you know, this will be one of the best teams he's played on in arguably the weakest division he's ever played in. So you know, I think the Falcons are now the favorite in the South. It'll be if Kirk Cousins plays 17 games and they don't win 11 of them, I'll be surprised.
All right, so that does make them the favorite in the South, even though the Buccaneers caught lightning in a bottle with Baker Mayfield last year. I like Baker Mayfield. I wish it would have worked out in Cleveland. He gets, 3 years, $100 million. Good for Baker. That's the best year of his career, though. I mean, I don't know. Mike Evans getting older. They kept Mike Evans as well. Todd Bowles, I didn't think would make it through the season, and they pulled it out as the season went on. Is Tampa Bay on an upward trajectory, or are they treading water, keeping the guys they kept?
Well, one thing to remember about Tampa last year, first off, they've made the playoffs 4 years in a row. They've won the division back-to-back years. So I know we still think of them as this laughingstock franchise, but right now they got a little something going. Secondly, Tom, they played last year with the most dead cap money on their cap of any team in the league because of Brady and other contracts. So they pulled off what they pulled off last year with at least 1 out of every $4, if not close to 1 out of every $3 being already spent for them.
Yeah.
So there is room to grow with this group. There is. Now, they are very much a 9-8 team, though. I mean, their record last year, I think, is truly who they are. You know, they were 4-7 at one point, then won 5 of 6 to make the playoffs in a playoff game against a depleted Eagles team. So, Tampa, to me, I don't know that they can add to them what the Falcons just added to them. I mean, 7 wins with Desmond Ridder, and you add Kirk Cousins. I mean, Ritter's I don't know if Ritter's a top 40 quarterback in the NFL, and Cousins is I'm being conservative here, Cousins is top 12.
Yeah,
so
no doubt.
That, to me, is a significant upgrade. And I don't see where that can happen in Tampa because they're still kind of retooling on the fly, Tom. I do think they're a playoff contender. I do think that 9-10 wins with Tampa is possible for this season before the draft. But I think Atlanta right now is the best roster in the division.
All right, I got to pause the show for 1 second here at Baumhauer's. Because TV guy is here, and he's changing channels. There's 40, 50. How many TVs are in here? 40? How many? 80? 80 TVs. Okay, can you do me one favor? You see that TV over there that's got a spring training baseball game on between the Yankees and somebody else, the Mets and the Yankees, I think? No, yeah, can you put it on there? Get that Colin Cowherd guy off of there. I don't need to see him. I'd like to see Yankees over there on spring training, and we got softball, LSU, Texas over there. We got a hockey game from last night over there. We don't need the basketball game from Africa.
Who the hell cares?
I do. All right. So, all right. I had to get that straightened out. Thank you. All right, David. We can continue the Sports Talk Radio show. It's critical, right? When you've got 80 TVs, I don't need to watch a basketball game from Africa. I want to see the Yankees playing in spring training, wouldn't you?
I know it's very important to see March 12th baseball. It is.
I can't wait, man. I'm so fired up for baseball. I can't wait. All right. So Russell Wilson goes to the Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
I am one to believe that somehow Russell Wilson turned into this pariah that was like worse than Desmond Ridder, and he sucked and everything else. And he did not suck last year. His numbers were very good last year. His quarterback rating was 4th in the entire AFC. I don't know what kind of baggage he comes with, but I look at that division now. I mean, Joe Burrow, if he's healthy, Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson, if he's healthy, and Russell Wilson. It's the best division in all of football, and this could be problematic for the rest of the division. When you look at the Steelers with Russell Wilson, this may be the perfect place for him to finish off what is looking like a Hall of Fame career with the Steelers. What's your thought? Bust or boom?
Well, 2 things. First off, it was the best division in the league last year with an injured Burrow, an injured Deshaun Watson, and Kenny Pickett.
Yeah.
And it was still the best division in the league. Now, in theory, 2 healthy guys and Russell Wilson as an upgrade. In fact, Tom, it's the best division in sports, college or pro right now. Remember it used to be the SEC West?
Yeah.
Well, now it's the AFC North. It's the best division in all of sports. I will say this. Russell Wilson, he's not the quarterback he was 3 years ago in Seattle. Fine. But Russell Wilson, with play action, is a top 5 quarterback in the league. Who runs the ball and sets up play action more than the new offensive coordinator in Pittsburgh, who was the former head coach of the Falcons, Arthur Smith? Nobody runs and does more play action than Arthur Smith. I think Russ is going into a great situation. 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs. The offensive line is average. Quite frankly, he's played behind below average half his career. Also, the reason the Steelers loved him, he had played twice against the Steelers in his career. He was 2-0 with 8 TDs and no interceptions.
Comeback player of the year was Joe Flacco. Incredible finish with the Cleveland Browns. I think he was 5-1 down the stretch, takes them to the playoffs. They get whacked in Houston. He throws more touchdown passes to the Texans than he did to the Browns. A lot of people in Cleveland wanted him back. A lot of people wanted him back. And I know a lot of people in Cleveland were concerned that, the first time Deshaun Watson threw one into the ground, they'd be chanting Joe Flacco's name, and it was going to create all kinds of issues there. The Browns will sign Jameis Winston tomorrow when you can go ahead and sign. So that ends the thought of bringing Joe Flacco back to Cleveland. These jobs have been kind of being filled up slowly but surely. You wonder where Joe Flacco goes at age 38, going to be 39. Is there a spot for him as a quality backup somewhere? He wanted to stay in Cleveland. That's obviously not going to happen.
I mean, Tom, where does Joe Flacco end up? Where does Justin Fields end up? quite frankly. The opportunities are seemingly gone. I'm curious what Denver's going to do at quarterback.
New England?
I don't think what they have right now is what they're going with. So, yeah, Flacco is interesting. Giants need a backup. But quite frankly, Denver's quarterback situation in its entirety is interesting.
What about New England for Fields?
Well, they
now
just
have an
signed
issue.
Brissett 1 year, $8 million. So I
Oh,
don't
they
think
did?
they'd bring.
Okay.
Yeah, they did that yesterday. So I don't think so. Here's the other thing. Clearly, I mean, Mac Jones got only a 6th-round pick. Last year in August, Trey Lance only got a 4th-round pick. I mean, the Bears were holding out for a 2nd-round pick. Right now, I think the Bears will be lucky to get a 5th.
Maybe they hang on to him, move down 2 or 3 spots, still be able to get Marvin Harrison, still be able to get Joe Alt.
Who wants him?
That's what I'm saying. Maybe you hang on to him.
No, but you have to have somebody that wants to give you something. Right now, you tell me who wants Justin Fields. The answer is no one.
You misinterpreted what I said. I said maybe they decide to hang on to him, trade down from the 1 to 3.
They're done with him. I know people in the Bears organization. They've seen him practice for 3 years. No, they're done with him.
Well, they're going to get next to nothing for him. There's no doubt about it. All right, finally, Mac Jones is there in Jacksonville. You live in Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence, franchise quarterback. Mac Jones goes for a 6th-round pick, both drafted in the same draft, have history against each other, of course, in college football, Clemson and Alabama. The numbers are scarily similar, though, when you look at Mac Jones and Trevor Lawrence. Does Mac Jones have any shot of even competing, or is he just 100% you're the 2 and get the hell out of here? Yeah.
No, Trevor is the franchise. It's not even close. Mac's an upgrade. And remember, last year they kind of forced Trevor to play when he was hurt because that's how little confidence they had in their backup quarterback. I think if they had Mac Jones as their backup last year, they win that division. So I think that's why they made the move. What's interesting is no one else offered New England anything. And I know Kyle Shanahan loves Mac Jones.
Yeah.
Regrets to this day that they didn't take Mac Jones and took Trey Lance instead. I think the Niners were hoping to bring Mac Jones in to back up Purdy because they knew they were going to lose Darnold. So just keep that in mind. I think one day Mac Jones will end up with Kyle Shanahan because he loves him.
Yeah. David Moulton has been our guest. David, I appreciate you so much. Very interesting stuff happening, and it's happening very fast, of course, around the NFL as this free agency reshapes these teams. And we'll see what happens with all of this. But good stuff, good talk, and we'll look forward to talking again. Now, next week we will not be talking next week because we are covered up with the SEC basketball. No, wait, I take that back. That's this week. I don't know what we're doing. I'm so confused with all these basketball tournaments and everything else. I don't know what we're doing. We may or may not be talking to you next week.
It's the madness next week. Wednesday we should be able to talk. There's no basketball in the afternoon.
Does the tournament start Tuesday or Thursday? Come on.
Yeah, but it starts at night, Tuesday and Wednesday, and then noon on Thursday.
Does it start Tuesday or does it start Thursday? Come on.
No, it starts Thursday.
Thank you. These guys, my guys at the state. Tuesday. The tournament starts Tuesday. No, first four. That's not the tournament. The tournament starts Thursday.
By the way, this is very important, Chad. Pirates 1-0 over the Braves in the 4th, and the Yankees and Blue Jays tied at 1 in the 3rd.
I appreciate that.
Very
I have
important.
it up, too.
I missed the
March
Trent
12th baseball. It's very important.
I missed the Trent. Oh, Volpe
Rome
is
Braves,
up.
baby. Rome Emperors.
We got an actual Yankee batting right now. We got Volpe up. There you go. So that's a real Yankee. A little later in the game, we'll get number 72 up there at bat, and then we'll know that we're looking at the Double-A team. All right, man. Appreciate you as always. We'll talk next week, maybe.
Okay, be well.
Thanks. David Moulton. All right, that does it for hour number 1. Coming up at the top of the hour, Jeremy Kudon will join us from the Sports Betting Alliance, and he'll explain to us some of the things that are going on in the state of Alabama. Can we at least have the chance to vote on this thing? And by we, I mean you, since I live across the border in Tennessee, and we already got it. All right, we'll get a break. We'll come back with more right after this from Baumhauer's 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This
Christine Lisi. Yankee slugger Aaron Judge told reporters today he underwent an MRI on his abdominal area and it did not show any structural damage. Said he won't swing a bat until at least later in the week. Hopes to be ready for opening day. Meantime, Yankees ace Garrett Cole is scheduled to undergo an MRI on his pitching elbow. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports quarterback Marcus Mariota is signing a one-year contract with Washington. He played 3 games in Philly last season as Jalen Hurts backup. A move to an NFC North rival for Vikings running back Aaron Jones. His agent told Schefter that Jones is expected to sign a one-year deal, $7 million with the Vikings. The Packers released him to make room for fellow running back Josh Jacobs. NBA Magic rewarded coach Jamal Mosley for the franchise's considerable turnaround. He's agreed to a 4-year extension. Orlando currently 5th in the Eastern Conference.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Thom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Valley Equipment Rental has grown by leaps and bounds over the past year and is adding more and more equipment to their already impressive fleet. Valley is a locally owned family equipment rental business serving the entire Tennessee Valley. They concentrate on the local contractors, building repeat business and specializing in long-term rentals for their local contractors. The benefit of long-term rental is that they stay on top of their assets. If something you own goes down in a field, you have to stop and fix it before you can finish the job. With Valley Equipment Rental, they will fix it on site or bring you another machine while that one's being fixed. More importantly, Valley is locally owned and operated, which means when you have an issue, you can get someone on it right away, right here in the Valley. Heck, ask for Ross Roberts, the owner, if you like. Try calling one of the big box national outlets and asking for the owner. That's if you can even get through the automation. Buy local. Buy Valley Equipment Rental. Valley Equipment Rental has 2 locations, one on the North and South Parkway. Learn more at valleyequipmentrents.com.
Football season and Bad Daddy's Burger Bar. The perfect combination of good times and great food. This season, score big with one of our chef-inspired expressions of pure burger amazingness. Our delicious burgers are made with premium Angus beef, and you can pair it with one of our signature cocktails or a cold craft beer from our huge selection. Bad Daddy's Burger Bar on the Parkway in Huntsville and our new location at Cliff Farm, Highway 72 in Madison. Since 1986, Full Moon Barbecue has been cooking quality meats low and slow over a hickory wood-fired pit. From ribs and wings, brisket, turkey, catfish, and sausage to the best butts in town. If you're planning a holiday or a birthday party, Full Moon has a large banquet room. And Full Moon is ready for your next catering or tailgate. Just call us and we'll take care of everything. 256-713-0070. Full Moon Barbecue on the Parkway next to Costco. The best little pork house in Alabama.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Unlike other credit cards that decline sports betting transactions or treat them as a cash advance, the G-Bank Visa Signature Card can load directly to your favorite sportsbook apps. G.bank/VSiN.
Men's hoops tonight, the West Coast Conference Championship. Gonzaga battles St. Mary's. Gonzaga a 2.5-point favorite. St. Mary's plus 124 on the money line. The over-under is 139.5. Coastal Championship, Charleston favored by 7.5 against Stony Brook. The over-under 157.5. Stony Brook plus 270 on the money line. Horizon Championship, Oakland by 4.5 against Milwaukee. The over-under 153.5. The Panthers plus 185 on the money line. Summit League Championship, Denver squares off with South Dakota State. Denver an 8.5-point underdog, plus 315 on the money line. The over-under 163.5. Get the latest lines and more at vsin.com.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A partly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 60s, making a solid run at 70 degrees, but it appears we're going to fall just shy. We drop into the mid 40s as we head into the overnight. A partly sunny sky for your Wednesday. Temperatures are going to consistently climb into the lower 70s. Really going to be a fantastic day. We're only going to drop into the low 50s through the overnight. A partly sunny sky for your Thursday. Maybe an isolated shower across the Tennessee Valley. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
College football.
The ball is caught. It is a touchdown.
Major League Baseball.
That ball is gone. A home run.
This is your place for complete sports coverage all year long. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The opinions of Thom Abraham are not necessarily the opinions of the radio station or anybody associated with the radio station or ownership. These are strictly his own opinions, and sometimes they're not even his opinions.
You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you. Hey, I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on.
That's my dog.
Now live, here he is, the big dog,
Let's go, baby.
Thom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 How you doing?
Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like El McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond? Get off my lawn.
I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
And welcome back, hour number 2 of the Thom Abraham Show. Grizzly got a little echo going there. I don't know if you got me the feed coming back to me. Thank you for clearing that up as well. This segment of the show is brought to you by North Alabama Mortgage in Alabama, Tennessee, Florida. North Alabama Mortgage has you covered for all your mortgage needs. Those rates are coming down. This is a great time, though, to get refinanced. You got that high equity in your home, pay off your high interest loans, and you can turn around and refinance when those rates bottom out, and they will continue to come down. So whether you're looking to do a home improvement or pay off some other high-interest stuff, you can do it with that home equity that you have in your house. Just go to NorthAlabamaMortgage.com and learn more about how you can get that done. All right, you heard a lot of the ads that were playing from the Sports Betting Alliance over the last 3 weeks or so, and I still think that some of you are confused about what is going on with the state of Alabama. As North Carolina yesterday went online and became the 30th state to allow legalized sports betting, the governor promptly put a bet on the Carolina Hurricanes to win the Stanley Cup. He's going to lose that bet, but at least he got the option to make that bet. And joining us now to talk about it is Jeremy Kudon of the Sports Betting Alliance. Jeremy, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much, Tom. Appreciate being on.
I appreciate you joining us. Let's get to the meat of the issue with Alabama, because we're always slow on a drop with all of this stuff, including, I mean, Alabama is one of just a few states that doesn't even have the lottery yet. But the campaign that you guys have been running with the Sports Betting Alliance and what they have been talking about in the legislature in Birmingham, this is just about getting it on the ballot, right? I mean, this is the first thing. Just get this on the ballot so the people can have the choice. Is that correct?
That is 100% correct.
And so talk about the two bills. I understand there are two different bills, and they talked about one in the Senate, and there's a different one in the House. Just give us some background on that.
Sure, of course. It's not playing out exactly like the Schoolhouse Rock, I'm just a bill segment that we used to see as kids. But what's happened is the House of Representatives, and this is the State House of Representatives, has passed a bill earlier in February that basically authorized put many things on the ballot, and one of those things was online sports betting. It also included the lottery, casinos, and things for tracks where they could get historical horse racing. Mm-hmm. The Senate pared that bill down. Instead of just passing what the House passed, they did something much smaller where it's now just the lottery, the tracks will get historical horse racing, and the Quartz Creek Indian casinos will get to enter into a compact with the state, which doesn't really mean a whole heck of a lot. What they didn't do was they didn't do online sports betting. And so now the House has the choice of either concurring, voting on the bill that the Senate passed, which would mean online sports betting would not be on the ballot, or they could say, you know what, we're not happy with what you guys did, Senate. We want to non-concur, and then they'd go to a conference committee. So for anyone who wants the opportunity to just vote on having online sports betting in Alabama, you need to tell your House representative to non-concur, that you don't want them to accept what was passed. You want them to pass sports betting. You want them to include a bill that has sports betting.
And I don't understand why did they decide to? Why would the Senate take that aspect out of the bill? It doesn't seem to be. I don't sense that there's some big push to eliminate it. That sports betting would hinder this thing. And again, we're not talking about allowing it. We're talking about putting it on the ballot so that the people can decide. Why would they be against letting the people decide whether or not they want the sports betting along with the casinos and everything else and the lottery?
Tom, I agree with everything that you just said. I don't know why. It didn't make logical sense to me that they didn't keep sports betting on. I think there was broad support in the Senate to have sports betting. But ultimately, I think that the view of Senate leadership was, let's do something that is the least controversial thing we can do. There was some controversy about online sports betting, about the fact that it's online, that it's on phones. I think personally, I believe, and look, I've been pushing this legislation throughout the country over the last 5 years. But personally, I feel like this is a safer mode of operation. We know sports betting is already happening in Alabama, but it's just happening illegally and in a market that's not regulated. And that can lead to all sorts of problems. This would create regulation. This would bring safety. This would ensure kids are not on, illegal sites right now, that they would be not allowed to do any sports betting. And then when they turn 21, they can start to sports bet. But I think that that was, I think, lost in all of this discussion, a lot of which happened behind the scenes. So we're hoping to right that wrong. I think I said on another show, we're not, and maybe we are here now. We're kind of at that 4th and goal from the 31 situation. Look, it worked out for the Crimson Tide. I'm hoping it works out for us.
I hope the chances are better than 4th and goal from the 31. And we don't need that kind of a miracle. I don't even know what the odds would be on that. Not only is it happening illegally in the state, it's happening at record numbers. And I have known this for a number of years and thrown the statistic out, and it has to do with polling that asks people if they bet on sports and so on. In the state of Alabama, there is more betting that goes on per capita than any state in the union. Per capita. Now, it's a smaller state. It's only 5 or 6 million people in the state of Alabama. But with the prevalence of college sports and so on in the state, no pro team in the state, folks in Bama want to do it. If it gets on the ballot, I think it goes through. I mean, I just don't think that there's this big push to stop it, and that's what I don't understand. Why? And just speak to the potential pitfalls of using, some dude in Costa Rica or giving your credit card information to some offshore place. And, some of them, they pay off. Others don't. There's horror stories out there all over the place of unregulated. Plus, it costs the state a lot of money that they could be making in tax revenue.
Tom, I think there's 3 points, and you've made one of them right away, which is that there's no guarantee when you use Bovada or when you use MyBookie or US Bets or any of these other sites that you're ever going to get paid if you win. There's no guarantee if you do it with a local bookie that you're ever going to get paid. That's one. Two, a lot of these sites or local bookies extend credit to, they give loans, and they'll give loans to kids in college or high school. And I've heard horror stories about these kids trying to find ways to pay for it, which only gets them in worse trouble just to pay off these loans, because they're worried about violence. They're worried about threats to themselves. And then 3, and I think this is another real problem that no one focuses enough on, is those sites have almost no controls. Let me strike that. They have no controls for problem gambling. They don't have anything that will allow you to exclude yourself from the site. They have nothing that sets daily limits or amounts that you can deposit. They want to take your money. Their goal is to take your money. And I think that's why I believe this is the best possible solution is, A, allow Alabama residents to vote on whether there should be sports betting in the state. But when that happens, I would say, let's do it, even if you don't support it. This will help people. This will help people who do it, because we know that they do. And you're right, you're the number one state for it. And then number two, it will give protection and measures that will either keep people off who shouldn't be on the site or help people who are on the site and may have a problem. It's a very small percentage, like 1 to 2% of sports bettors have, addiction issues. But we want to take care of that 1 to 2%. And no one in Costa Rica cares one iota about those people.
Jeremy Kudon with us of the Sports Betting Alliance. Yeah, and it helps everybody in the state, not just the people that are the sports bettors, because of the tax issue, right? I mean, there's hundreds of millions of dollars that are being bet illegally out of the state, and and the state is benefiting zero, which means the schools and people that are in need and the other state programs, they're getting zero tax revenue off of this.
Zero tax revenue. And we estimate anywhere from $50 to $60 million per year in taxes. That's just the tax revenue that can be collected from sports betting if it's legal in Alabama. That's money right now that's just not even being taken for an activity that we know is happening. I tell a story of I'm a lifelong Alabama fan. My dad went to the University of Alabama, went to a game a few years ago. The biggest cheers of the game were at the beginning of the game when Bama scored, and at the end when they went up 30. And
they covered.
They covered. It was crazy. I think that's why they loved Tua so much when he was a freshman, because he always helped them cover at the end of the game.
Well, speaking of that, we had that crazy story that came out over the weekend about the backup quarterback from Vanderbilt who made a total of 17 pass attempts in his career, saying that some Italian mobster offered him $300,000 to throw a game. I don't even know how you throw a Vandy game. They're going to lose them all anyway. I don't know what you do with a Vandy game.
That was the hardest thing. I didn't understand that. It's not like anybody's like, I need the Vandy playbook or I'm not going to cover.
Yeah, and then I wonder, he's the backup. How do you affect the game? Tackle the starting quarterback on the sideline or something? I don't know what. hide his helmet or something. But then he implied that every game in the SEC is rigged, and then he invoked the name of Alabama and said, other players in my position, meaning quarterbacks, that were in the NFL now. So that makes you think of course, Tua and Jalen Hurts and Mac Jones, or somehow. But implying that all of this kind of nefarious stuff is going on in the SEC. I have been one that has contended for years that the best way you can control any of that type of stuff, if that even is out there, and I'm sure that there are attempts that are made, but the best way is to legalize it so you can regulate everything, and you're kind of keeping an eye on all of that stuff.
100%. And there actually have been two incidents involving Alabama schools, one this past weekend and one last year, with the baseball team, which because of the legal market, they were able to catch those. The legal market, think of it like the stock market. They have all this different software that's looking for irregular activity. And unlike even a brick and mortar market, unlike going to a sports book in Vegas, it's easy to track. It's all online. So you can see if there's irregular patterns of activity. With the baseball game, that was as simple as they just caught him. Someone overheard or something happened, and any large wager on a college event triggers suspicion and gets flagged by the books, and then the books will tell immediately either the SEC, the NCAA. So, there are more protections in place for college sports when it's done in a legal market than if it's just done today. Today, there's, we have 30 states now that are covering it. But even this weekend, there was the suspended betting on the UAB game against Temple. And that's simply, it may be nothing. It's probably nothing. I'm sure it's nothing. But there was enough of this irregular activity that it triggered a warning. And that's what we need. That's going to help protect college sports, which are kind of going through their own tumultuous time anyway.
What's the next step? When does the two sides of this deal, the House and the Senate, when did it get ready to make the next vote as to whether or not this even ends up on a ballot?
By the end of the week, I'd say by the weekend. I think on Monday they're out this week, so they'll be back in Montgomery on Monday. And when they come back, they'll make a vote will be taken by the by the House as to whether they're going to concur or not. So the more of your listeners who can just go to sportsbettingalliance.org, they've heard the ads, put their name in, just click on Alabama, just scroll down, there's a map, just click on Alabama, fill in 5 lines, very simple, and that will generate emails. If you want to just pick up the phone and call your state representative, please do so. Please call your state senator. Tell them how much you want online sports betting on the ballot, that you just want your right to vote. And as we've seen with so many other political movements, it's not about the big people doing it, like the big money doing it. It often comes down to individuals doing it.
It's very easy to do. I just did it while you were talking about it. I'm on the site right now, and you just hover over the state of Alabama. Even though it's white, that means that it's not legal now. You just hover over that, and then you just put in your information, and it will send an email to a representative, to official, and let them know that you want just the right to vote on it, and then we'll see what happens.
Yeah, the last thing, Tom, Alabama wants is Georgia. I was in Georgia last week. They're very close to getting this on the ballot. Mississippi is very close to legalizing this. Last thing you want is for Alabama to be the only state in the SEC besides Texas, and hopefully that will happen next year, that can't bet on sports legally.
I actually live, I work here in Alabama. I live across the border in Tennessee, in Winchester, Tennessee, and we've had it there now for a couple of years.
Yep.
And it's amazing how many people in our listening area, of course, our signal goes into Tennessee, but so many people in this North Alabama region, they just drive across the border. They have to drive across the border, and then, boom, it clicks on immediately, MGM or FanDuel, whichever one you're using, and it just all of a sudden becomes live. They go ahead and place their bet. They drive back across the border, and it's just a rotten shame that none of that money is staying in the state of Alabama.
You're absolutely right. And Tennessee was 2019. So it's just mind-boggling that we were able to get this done in Tennessee 5 years ago almost now. And we have not been able to get it done in Alabama. I'm hoping this will be the time. But like I said, we're going to need the support of your listeners to get that done. And hopefully, I can get back on when it's on the ballot or when it's getting on the ballot. And then when we do what North Carolina did yesterday, which was a thrill, to turn it on and make it legal.
Yeah, get it legal, and then we can have a lot of fun with that as well. Great stuff. Jeremy Kudon has been our guest from the Sports Betting Alliance. Jeremy, we appreciate you. I know this is a topic that our listeners have great interest in, and we're wishing you guys the best. Keep fighting a good fight.
Thank you so much. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. You just drop a little Roll Tide in there. How about that? Drop a little Roll Tide in there. Yeah, you just go to the site, sportsbettingalliance.org, all right, is the site. You just go to the site, and you click on, let's see, what did I click on to get there? I know if you go to the site and you go to the Take Action tab, and then you can click on the state of Alabama, and then you can go ahead and automatically send in your email. And it even writes it for you. Dear official, I'm a constituent, and I'm asking you to support mobile sports betting. Several states in New Jersey, blah, 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 already make legal bets using their phones. It's time that we do the same. Please support mobile sports betting legislation. Grizz, whether you want to do it or not, it's not the point of whether you want to do it or not. It's the question of, can you have the choice? Can you have the choice to do it or not?
We should greatly have the choice. We should greatly have the choice. We should greatly have an opportunity to make as much money as possible to fund anything that we can in this state. We go outside of the state to, I go to Atlanta. I buy tickets. You know what I mean? I go
lottery tickets.
Yeah, I buy lottery tickets. Like I go up north. It's like I'll get scratches. You just go somewhere and you go somewhere else and you spend money somewhere else and pay money to other states instead of making that money within. I don't understand what the problem is there.
Yeah.
There's over 20,000 churches. We want to get crazy. There's over 20,000 churches in this state, and you could tax every single one of them, and then you can make more money off that. But that's another thing. But that's the thing. It's like you just did one of your typical Grizz.
I was just saying.
What is the 20,000 churches
there's so many churches in the state of Alabama.
Why would you tax a church?
I'm just saying if they were taxed, you could make more money, and that's the thing. It's like if that was, there's so many things that we could sit here and talk about in the state of Alabama that's just crazy that. Where it's like, why wouldn't you want to make more money in the state? Why wouldn't you want to generate something here?
But we're not advocating for taxing.
Well,
the
I'm
church
just
or
saying
something.
sports bet. I would love sports betting. You don't have that on the Senate bill. I posted that before.
Yeah.
There's no sports betting. You're not going to be able to get. You're not going to be able to get casinos unless it's like differentiated between the Porch Creek Indians. So I mean, like, what is the whole? Like, what are we getting here? Basically, only a third of the money is going to the schools. I mean, what are we actually getting here out of this? And what are we voting on? What are we gonna vote on? Because it doesn't sound like what the people of Alabama want, and that's the whole thing. It's like, why are we sitting here and arguing about it when we could just sit here and legalize all this stuff and actually start generating some money?
Yeah, that would be the key. It would generate tax revenue and it would give people the freedom to choose, and something that they want anyway. This is the point. It's not like all of a sudden you legalize sports betting in the state of Alabama, and all of a sudden people are going to say, "Hey, I can now bet in the state of Alabama." No, they're betting already. They're betting already at record numbers. They're betting it's the number one state in terms of per capita, in terms of people betting. They're just betting offshore, or they're betting in other states, and they're just doing it illegally, or betting with Louis down at the corner bar. And so that money is being bet. You heard what he said, $50 to $60 million of tax revenue that is lost to this state because they don't legalize it. If it was legalized, that $50 to $60 million would stay in the state. And wherever it goes, I don't care where it goes. I don't care how much goes to schools or how much goes to building a new road or filling a pothole or doing whatever. All I know is it's tax revenue. You know, that's what it is. It's tax revenue. So it would just, and it's a matter of freedom. You know, that's the biggest thing. It's something that the people do already. It's a matter of freedom, and then for that small percentage, they get themselves in trouble. See, one of the things with legalized sports betting, when you're doing it with these apps, on your phone, you have to deposit first. You make a deposit, and then you're playing with that money that you deposit. What they do now in the illegal ones, or when it's the guy down at the corner bar, they give you a margin, and the next thing you know, you find yourself down $1,000 that you don't have, and now you got to pay money and figure out what you're going to do to pay back your losses. And it's unregulated, and there's no help for it. And then the people that do get themselves addicted or whatever happens, then they when it's legalized, you would have programs for them and so on that would help for those people. The percentage of people though that get addicted to sports betting is lower, much lower than the percentage of people that get addicted to alcohol and drugs. And yet we have all these programs for alcohol and drugs. Alcohol is legal. Of course, drugs are not legal. And all this talk about marijuana and everything else. So a lot more people get addicted to that and create problems for our health system and everything else than get addicted to sports betting. So that negative stigma of, sports betting and they're going to do. No, that's not what's going on. All right, we'll get a break. We'll come back. Phone lines go open the rest of the way from Baumhauer's. That is where we are at. 256-5764-97.7. You want to react to that story or anything else, you can go ahead and do it. We also have some comments from Nick Saban talking about the state of college football as well. We'll get that in 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
From heirloom diamonds to contemporary jewels, Loring & Company is the place to find something truly special. Whether shopping for a diamond ring for that once-in-a-lifetime occasion or marking a milestone birthday or personal achievement with a Rolex watch, you'll find just the thing in our edit of the world's most sought-after brands, including David Yurman, Roberto Coin, Marco Bicego, and Fopé. Expect a treasure trove of the world's most unique, even breathtaking earrings, rings, necklaces, and bracelets, making choosing just one piece a challenge in itself. Loring & Company Jewelers on Airport Road.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
The best place to get 50s diner-style homemade delectables is Bubby's Diner. Located at 8412 Whitesburg Drive Southeast, try their all-new expanded breakfast menu with homemade waffles, omelets, and shrimp and grits. With 3 generations of experience, Chris Bubby Belcher has the best burgers in town. Don't forget to leave without a homemade pie or a hand-spun milkshake. Give Bubby's a call today at 256-513-8080. Bubby's Diner, home of the donut burger.
By texting 64000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Babbel. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at babbel.com/TNC.
My new exercise bike. Yeah, more like my $1,500 coat rack.
At Babbel, we get it. Learning something new is hard, especially a new language.
My Spanish starts and ends at Adios.
Make it easy on yourself with Babbel. In just 10 minutes a day, you can start having real conversations in as little as 3 weeks.
Hola, Espanol.
It starts here. To try Babbel free, text radio to 64,000. Text radio to 64,000.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Our customers want best-in-class solutions. That's why we've recently added many new vendors like Zebra barcode printers. Our next level team has added premier automation solutions. We're not here to sell you just one product, and we love helping you find the right solution to your specific needs. That's what doing the right thing is all about, and that's why our customers have come back for over 50 years.
Not looking or feeling your best? No energy for the things you like to do? Ready to look and feel younger? Make your appointment at Advanced Life Clinic, one of the region's foremost destinations for patients interested in looking and feeling their best. Specializing in advanced laser treatments and weight loss, male and female rejuvenation to offset the effects of aging, and more. See how Advanced Life Clinic can help you enjoy your life again. Call 256-882-6555 or log on advancedlifeclinic.com.
This is Paul Feinbaum. Listen to me coming up today at 2. Now back to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Yeah, I'm ready for it.
Segment of the Thom Abraham Show is brought to you by the Service Department at Woody Anderson Ford. There is nothing like the Service Department at Woody Anderson Ford. Taking care of your vehicle, whether it's a Ford or not, using genuine Motorcraft parts at Woody Anderson Ford. And you can get on down there and check that out. Don't forget the certified gold pre-owned vehicles as well at Woody Anderson Ford. I have pulled a number of vehicles out of that inventory. It is outstanding. And, of course, the new inventory has been built back up as well. It's Woody Anderson Ford. Check it out online at WoodyAndersonFord.com. You can see it there as well. All right, phone lines are open if you want to get in, 256-576-4977. I want to thank Maize and Blue Frank, who came by earlier, hooked me up. Now I have a Maize and Blue T-shirt that is my size. So now the question is, and we have one hanging in the radio station.
Yes, we do. Right behind me.
Which we need to give to somebody that would fit in an X. Is it an X or is it a 2X? I think it's a 1X is what I think that one is, which would fit Natty Danny. I mean, he's a guy that would wear that thing. So now that's a 1X. So now I got a 2X here that will fit me from Maize and Blue Enterprises, which is Maize and Blue Frank's company. He actually, we've always said that Wolverine Dan is our number one, Natty Danny. He's our number one homer, right? He's won Tommy Awards for being the top homer in all of the in the doghouse. He's been that guy. But Maize and Blue Frank, who is an aerospace consulting company, literally named his company Maize and Blue Enterprises.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know, Grizz. Maize and Blue Frank may be moving in a little bit on Natty Danny for the top homer in the doghouse.
I wonder what Keith the Michigan fan has to say, too. I mean, is he higher than Keith the Michigan fan?
Well, I don't think that Keith the Michigan fan or Natty Danny named the company.
That's true.
Now, Natty Danny used to have a dog named Maisie, so, that counts for something. But I know that Natty Danny runs around and does like some handyman work. I don't know if his
he does have that flag outside his house too,
and he does have a flag with his name on it. He has a Michigan flag with his name on it as well. It could be close. It could be close. I think that, and both of them are on the line right now. Let's start with Natty Danny. Maybe he needs to name his, his landscaping / handyman business. What does he call it? Natty Danny Enterprises or something? I don't know.
Natty Danny LLC.
Dan, Maize and Blue Frank is coming after you a little bit here. Naming his business Maize and Blue. I mean, that's something.
All right. My first dog was Blue. Next, and I had Robbie, a big Bama fan, next to me when I lived in Madison.
Yeah.
My dog would get in his flower bed, and then this is how Robbie would say, "Go Blue, go Blue." I named it Blue just so you would say that, okay? Now, yeah, I had Maisie, like Maisie Blue. That was my second dog, okay? All right? Now,
did you have them at the same time, so you had Maize and Blue?
No. Blue was first, Maisie was second.
Okay, because I have a granddaughter. I have a granddaughter named Crimson, and I had tried to get my daughter to name her second child Ty. And so it would be like Tyler, and then it would be Crimson and Ty. So it would be Crimson Ty, but they had a girl, so that didn't happen.
Well, you got to add in also the fact that I am a Wing Bowl champion. All right, let's just do that.
Yeah,
okay?
but that doesn't help your case for being the number one homer, for your beloved Wolverines, just because you're a Wing Bowl champ.
You talk to any now. I'll tell you what. There's plenty of room for everybody in the Michigan crew.
Okay.
I mean, I understand that. Okay.
They're coming out of the woodwork now. That's for sure. They are coming out of the. They are coming out of the woodwork. Yeah. See, that's another thing. I don't think that Maize and Blue Frank has ever said "Roll Tide, brother." I don't know, but you did do that for
Bama Zach.
For Bama Zach,
I did that for Bama Zach, and I've been supporting my Michigan Wolverines. Michigan go blue forever. I'm the single guy before these other guys started. Although I'm glad they're on board, but I've been holding up the banner for a long, long time.
That's true.
But
That's true.
You know what? It's not a competition. We're all part of a national championship team this year. It is what it is, okay?
That's true.
I would think maybe the gentleman you spoke of, what's his first name?
Maize and Blue Frank.
Maize and Blue Frank.
Yeah.
Very well, Maize and Blue Frank. Him and I vote for Trump.
There is a T-shirt. We have a T-shirt.
Keep the Michigan bad votes for you-know-who.
That's true. We have a T-shirt. We got a T-shirt from Maize and Blue Frank that'll fit you, a 1X. You can fit in a 1X, right? You like them Schmedians. You get the guns.
I got plenty of gear. Don't worry about that. You know what? Give that to a Bama fan that wants to jump off the bandwagon and get on a real team, which is us.
Well, we tried to give it to Drew. We tried to give it to Drew, but yeah. Okay.
That's not why I called. You said sports gambling and everything and addictions and whatnot. I think you have a love fest with the quarterback for Packers, Love. Love fest. You keep taking the greatest things in sliced bread, and then look at Moulton. Moulton sets you in your place.
Yeah, Moulton doesn't believe in him as much as I do, but I think the kid improved so much down the stretch, and I think that he's going to lead the Packers to great things beginning next season.
The golf got to the Super Bowl when he was with the Rams.
With the Rams,
got it there last year. Okay.
Yeah, but he's a little older.
Come on, Tom.
He's not bad. He's not bad, but they got Josh Jacobs now, and they're getting better at defense.
We got the double team tandem. We got the Montgomery. We got Gibbs. You can't beat that. That was the best running back duo this past year.
They were good. They were good. I'll give you credit for that. They were good. I love your tight end. But I'm just saying.
Well, thank you, Tom. I've worked real hard on my glutes.
Yeah.
So that's all right. Anyway, with that said, listen, my man, it's all good, okay?
Yeah.
It's all good. Bottom line is that God love this country. We're allowed to talk sports and get rid of all the other crap that's going on in the world. And Tom, it's wonderful, your show all these years, and other shows, sports shows, maybe not as good as yours, but it's nice to have sports be spoken on the airwaves versus these complete swamp dwellers. I don't want to hear about that. thank you very much, and I speak for everybody in this city. It's wonderful to have the Thom Abraham Show here for 20 years. I've been with him every day just about. I love it. And, hey, before I go, I got to say it. Michigan Wolverines, baby. See ya.
Grizz, there's your program, your promo right there. There's your Thom Abraham Show promo right there. I mean, 20 years. You've been with me for 20 years. That's good stuff. All right, Maize and Blue Frank, who's coming on strong, man. I don't know. I mean, you know, that's right. He's bringing gifts. Although Natty Danny often brings gifts. They're usually food gifts.
Usually cookies.
Rub, cookies, muffins, you know, his barbecue rub and all that kind of stuff. So you know, I can't say that. But, Frank, welcome in, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I am fantastic.
Well, by the way, he brings you in food gifts. I brought you in. Now you've got 2 T-shirts.
I got 2
and
T-shirts.
You could keep we're welcome to give it to somebody that'll fit and likes Maize and Blue, but you could keep it as a target, you know, to get back into fighting shape. You know.
Well, yeah, that's true too. Yeah, I wouldn't mind. You're saying. I understand what you're saying. I'm fat, is what you just said. You said I'm fat. I get that,
and I did not say that.
I resemble that remark. I understand that. I get that. I would love to get into an XL T-shirt for sure, but I have to weigh the whole. You know, wearing a Maize and Blue T-shirt. I mean, I have to think of it as this is strictly to support Maize and Blue Enterprises. That's it. I mean, I can't. If somebody sees me with a Maize and Blue T-shirt on, and they're going to say, "What are you doing? You're a Michigan fan now?" I mean, I was born into a Notre Dame family, and I love Alabama, and now I'm going to wear a Maize and Blue T-shirt. So I got to be careful with that a little bit. That's all. And we can't get anybody to wear the one that's at the station. It hangs. It's on the wall behind Grizz. You can almost see it. Here, Grizz is going to hold it up on WZZN TV. People think I'm lying. There it is. There's the Maize and Blue Enterprises. It says Aerospace Consulting, and it's hanging in the studio. So, you know, maybe we'll give it away as a prize on the Friday Trifecta or something like that. I don't know.
Well, hey, just a couple of things. One, you guys, you mentioned the Savannah Bananas.
Yeah.
And my daughter is having a baby next month.
Wow.
And I happened to be in Academy Sports last weekend, and I walked in, and there were T-ball gloves from the Savannah Bananas, and they were Maize and Blue. So I bought one as a shower gift. I know it's jumping the timeline a little bit because the kid's not born yet, but he's going to need a T-ball glove, and it's Maize and Blue. So the Savannah Bananas are cool. I like them.
Yeah, that'll be an excellent gift. I have one coming too, sometime in the fall. I'm not sure. I think in September. I think September 4th is our next grandchild, number 15, coming in. So yeah, I got to think about what I'm going to do for him.
Well, I could get one of the Maize and Blue little baby things, you know.
His daddy, my son-in-law. They're big Bears fans. They're from Illinois. He's from Illinois, and he's a Bears fan. And college-wise, you know, that's a good. You know, I don't know that I know who he pulls for in college football. I'm going to have to double-check with him. I'm not sure who he pulls for. He might, you know, he's not. I know he's not a Michigan fan. But I'll have to ask him.
By the way, remember that I did come in wearing that rolled Tide T-shirt.
Yeah, you did.
It was almost a good thing, you know.
That was strong too. That was strong.
Hey, I got 2 other things. One, you know, I talked about the viewership and everything being up so high this year for college football. Well, of course, that ties in with Michigan winning the national championship. And 2,
yeah, but they have 100,000 every game, no matter what. Even when they suck, they still sell out. So that didn't change. I don't think Michigan being good changed it. They're selling out all the time anyway.
Well, and by the way, too, earlier you had a guy on that was talking about Jordan Love not being really able to perform under pressure.
Yeah.
But I hear he does a mean Bohemian Rhapsody. So.
That's just terrible. I know where you're coming from, and that's just bad. All right, Frank, we got you in.
Hey, I'll let you go. You have a good one. Say hi to Natty Danny. He's a good guy.
He is a good guy. You just said hi to him because he's been listening for 20 years. Never turns it off. All right, let me get a break in here. When we come back, phone lines remain open. What did Nick Saban have to say with Ted Cruz about the state of college football? We'll share that next on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The
state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
It's a beautiful day for a ball game.
Here it comes, and there it goes. Fly ball, deep left field, way back. This one is up. This one is gone.
Grab your peanuts and Cracker Jacks and get ready to cheer on the Tide. The Tide plays here all season long on your home for Alabama baseball.
We are your home for Crimson Tide baseball. Catch all of our coverage all season long right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
When I chose a garage door company, I did my homework. I needed Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked their reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision Overhead Garage Door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. Call 256-400-4500.
Isn't the story of the prodigal son an amazing story? Basically, a rowdy boy who literally wished his father dead, ran away, and consumed his wealth with hard and fast living. Yet the father looked for his return every day, and when the boy got tired of eating pig slop, he decided to return. What did the father do? As soon as he saw that boy, he ran to him, threw his arms around him, and killed the fatted calf for a great celebration. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of the Cross Point Church. If you're looking for a church home, come see us, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at BobWallaceAppliance.com.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. If you've been injured and need a lawyer right now, and pick up the phone to call, you know, one you've seen on a billboard or on TV begging for your business, do you know who you really get?
I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. You want to talk to your lawyer. You don't want to reach a call center, not in some office 100 miles away. With the Lackey Law Firm, that never happens. My clients talk to me.
And me. I'm attorney Justin Lackey. We're the ones that you talk to. We're the ones that you meet with.
And we're the ones who handle your personal injury case. You want to talk to me? You just call me.
And we'll take care of it. You worry about getting well. We'll take care of the rest.
The Lackey Law Firm.
And I'll go you one better. If you can't come to us, we'll come to you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's
It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at GenSuperstore.com.
Talent Heating and Air plus 97.7 ESPN The Zone Bracket Challenge is coming.
You're going to have to explain that.
Head to 97.7ESPN.com and sign up your team today.
I followed your instructions implicitly.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
There's the phone and no one to answer.
256-576-4977.
And as a result, we got many, many phone calls and letters.
Give us a call on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline today. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This segment of the show is brought to you by our good friends at the Orthopedic Center. For all your injury needs, it's the Orthopedic Center. Check them out. TOC, Alabama A&M, the Huntsville Havoc, and pretty much every high school in the region uses TOC Sports. You should do the same if you have an injury, whether it's a sports injury or not, a work accident, whatever it is. TOC has the right specialist for you. They're all throughout the Tennessee Valley. They're North Alabama's largest sports medicine provider. It's TOC Sports. Stay in the game with TOC Sports. And we remind you, of course, we are coming to you here from Baumhauer's, and we remind you to not only get into our bracket challenge, but to get into the Baumhauer's bracket challenge by coming on down here. And Baumhauer's also has their great slam dunk specials going on. Enjoy dunkable, dunkable favorites such as the Bam Bam Shrimp, it's outstanding, the award-winning traditional buffalo wings, outstanding, or the char-grilled dippin' chicken, it's all also outstanding, special starting at just $8.99 here at Baumhauer. So check all of that stuff out. Also, you want to check out the Conference USA basketball tournament. Tonight's action gets started at 5:30 on the women's side with UTEP and Sam Houston. The winner of that game will play MTSU tomorrow at 11:30 a.m., and we'll be broadcasting from noon to 2 from down there at the arena, from the floor of the arena. Okay, so the action will be going on as we're broadcasting. It's going to be really cool. Great atmosphere to do that. And we'll be joined by the commissioner of the Conference USA tomorrow, and she'll be joining us. Judy McLeod will be joining us about 12:15 or so into the show. And then later on in the show, we'll be joined by Chris Massaro. He is the athletic director at MTSU. Plus, we'll take your phone calls as well on a Wednesday from down there at the game. Also tonight, Jacksonville State and FIU coming up, 8-9 game, and the winner of that will play Sam Houston. That'll be at 5:30 tomorrow. Let's see what else is going on tomorrow. So tomorrow you got women's action, not only the MTSU game, but you also have the 2-seed Liberty playing Western Kentucky. That is at 2 o'clock, so that's immediately following the MTSU game. So a lot of activity going on. It's great to have Conference USA. I saw a guy bumping around here earlier with a Troy top on, and because tonight Troy is in town to take on Auburn down at the Toyota Field, and that's going to be big doings, Grizz. I hadn't heard how the tickets had gone for that, but I know you'll be down there checking that out. Auburn and Troy down there at the ball field. What a great night for it.
Yeah, it's started off a pretty day too, so hopefully it'll stay the rest of the day like this. And it starts at 6 o'clock, and it's going to be a good little atmosphere. And I mean, last 2 games that I've gone to have been really fun. So hopefully they'll be just as exciting as well.
Let's take a listen to what Nick Saban had to say earlier. Now, we this was with Ted Cruz. We don't know, Grizz, do we know why Saban was being talking with Ted Cruz. Was he on like a Ted Cruz podcast or something? What was the context?
I'd have to go back and look into it because it looked like it was like it was trying to get like his point on like maybe something that's going on within college football, and they needed Nick Saban.
What was the show that he was on?
No, it was. I don't think it was a show. It was like a C-SPAN event or something. You know what I mean? It looked like he was helping on something that has to do with NCAA or something. I have to dive more into it.
Was he testifying? He wasn't like
no, he wasn't testifying.
He wasn't in front of Congress, right? I mean, it was just him and Ted Cruz, or was it him and well, let's hear what he had to say. This is a part of it, a snippet of it, of what Nick Saban had to say about the state of college football.
Well, all the things that I believed in for all these years, 50 years of coaching, no longer exist in college athletics. So it's always was about developing players. It was always about helping people be more successful in life. My wife even said to me, we'd have all the recruits over on Sunday with their parents for breakfast, and she would always meet with the mothers and talk about how she was going to help and impact their sons and how they would be well taken care of. And she came to me, like right before I retired and said, why are we doing this? And I said, what do you mean? She said, all they care about is how much you're going to pay them. They don't care about how you're going to develop them, which is all what we've always done. So why are we doing this? So, to me, that was sort of a red alert that we really are creating a circumstance here that is not beneficial to the development of young people, which is why I always did what I did. My dad did it. I did it. And that's the reason that I always like college athletics more than the NFL, is because you had the opportunity to develop young people. So, and I want their quality of life to be good. I think, as I said before, name, image, and likeness is a great opportunity for them to create a brand for themselves. I'm not against that at all. But to come up with some kind of a system that still can help the development of young people, I think, is paramount to the future of college athletics.
So that was Nick Saban. So he's touching on both the personal aspect for him, what he says is, one of the things that kind of drove him out of the sport, and then, of course, his thoughts on it. That was a Capitol Hill panel, basically, that he was sitting on and discussing, where we go from here. We've got to have some standardization. I mean, I'm not a big government guy. In fact, I'm the opposite. I'm a small government guy. I think our federal government needs to be as small as possible, and I'm big on the states. I think state government is what's important. In this case, though, having this being a state issue is a real problem because these schools compete interstate. So because of that, you've got totally different laws in every state as to what you can and can't do with NIL. So this is a perfect example of something that the federal government should be involved in. They should be involved in setting some sort of a standard so that across the land there's an equality in terms of how kids, college athletes, how they are dealt with in this particular case. There has to be some sort of standardization, whether it's through football or sport, or whether it's through, however it is that you come up with it, you got to standardize it in some particular way, shape, or form. And I think Nick Saban's got a perfect voice, for something like that. So he kind of talked about that. But one thing we know for sure is it's totally different when you look at the different conferences and you look at, we talked about earlier in the show about the attendance and how the attendance has, gone up for the second year in a row in college football. It doesn't have anything to do with Michigan, all right? It has to do with, just overall. But the thing is, it's lower than it was in 2008. But all these schools we've added in the last 15 years, they're all little tiny schools. That's the thing. And when you look at some of those schools, I mean, if I told you right now that UMass averages 10,800 a game, all right? Sam Houston, which is now playing Division I college football, okay? Sam Houston averages 7,600 a game. Come on. Their stadium holds 15,000, and that's not the same as the SEC or the Big Ten or even the ACC. Northern Illinois. Remember Northern Illinois with all those great teams that they would have and stuff? And they were great. Yeah, exactly. 9,198 per game. 31% capacity in their stadium. In over 5 years, 31% capacity. They average 9,100. They average 9,200 a game. I mean, come on. Get out of here. FIU averages 10,000 or 14,888 a game at a 30,000-seat stadium. Charlotte, right? They've had some pretty good teams in Charlotte. They burst on the scene in the Sun Belt. They average 10,900 a game in a 20,000-seat stadium. I mean, you know, Central Michigan, 15,800. They're on TV all the time, you know, with the Maction and all that kind of stuff. So all I'm saying is that this is a totally Middle Tennessee. Middle Tennessee is a 30,000-seat, 34,000-seat, 31,000-seat stadium. Middle Tennessee averages 14,364 a game. Their 5-year average is 40% capacity. So I think that at some particular point in time, we need to separate the big boys, and I mean big. All right, the SEC and the Big Ten, they got to be separated at some point in time. Michigan had the highest average attendance in the country, 110,000. 110,000. You know, that's more than see these other schools for their entire season. Penn State, 107,000. Texas A&M, 97,000 a game. LSU, 100,000. Alabama, 98,000 a game. I mean, come on. You know, and then you bring in the NIL money and the TV money that those people bring in compared to other schools.
Yeah.
I mean, it's ridiculous. So it's coming. The break-off is coming, and at some particular point in time, people will say, how did you ever consider Ball State in the same quote-unquote division of college football as Michigan? I mean, it's ridiculous. All right, that's going to do it for our show today. I want to thank David Moulton and Jeremy Kudon, who are on the show today. I want to thank Grizz, who did a great job mixing the show. I want to thank the folks at Baumhauer's, who are always good. It's always great to be at Baumhauer's. Tomorrow we'll be down at the VBC. Tonight, the drive is at the Furniture Factory. And up next is the Paul Feinbaum Show. All right here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.